Right. Hello, everybody. Let's see. Ozia and Zanka. Hello. Thanks for joining. Wait, let me get all the stuff working properly, if my computer will move. There we go. Divs and Castle. Hello. Thanks for joining. So my computer keeps doing a freezy thing, so we'll do our best anyway. Let's see. Let's put the music on. I think I need to clear my computer actually. And James, hello. Turn my volume down. There we go. Right, I'm all good now. How's everybody been? There we go. All sorted. Okay. Let's get settled in then. I don't think I topped off my hot chocolate. Oh well, that's okay. How you all been? What's been going on? You've been good, James. Got slightly lost on my walk yesterday. That's a good thing. But all the things I planted are growing nicely. Good stuff. Nice. It's great to get lost on walks. I have a very good sense of direction, so I tend not to get lost, which is a pain in the ass because I've tried so many times. I do get lost in life, generally, though. Castle, been alright, just teaching class for internal martial arts. That's good. Good to hear. EO, can't hear you that well. Let me just check my volume. All my settings. No, don't want those settings. Wrong settings. Oh, hang on, maybe it's set on the wrong thing on Streamlabs again. Because it does that. Nope. How have I been? I've been okay. Can't complain. Nothing exciting happening. Also nothing bad happening, so that's probably a good thing. Oh, yeah. Wrong mic. Come on. Okay. Hopefully, I don't know if that's better. But we'll see. Jersey Shore Shark Attack is here. Hello. Glad you could join us. I am just trying to figure out my volume. I want... not that. Not what I'm looking for. Okay, let's try this. Richard, hello. And Divs, it's a year ago this week I found your channel. Oh, that's cool. It does fly, yeah. The older you get, it just goes faster. I don't know why. Okay. Can turn my mic up just slightly. Now it's 100%. There we go. All the volumes over my mic is up. Can't do much else. So I hope that's better. I did my first workshop yesterday, and it went pretty well, I think. It was a bit of a new experience for me because I had like all these moving parts that I don't usually have, but kind of got through it. I do need like a PA or something to click my slides on the right timings, but With practice, I will get better. But yeah, it went pretty well. It's the after the spirit vessel workshop. Oh, I did add. If anybody's interested, I did add the new workshop today, which is in. Let's see. March was the spirit vessel. Next month is the familiar spirit, creation of a familiar spirit. So then it's May is the witch mind, which is about trance work really. I kind of take you through two different, like an active and an inactive method of getting into trance, explain trance and everything else, and then we do some sigil work in a trance state. So yeah, should be fun as well. Zanka said, "Yep, that was great." Yeah, because you were there. Yeah, it was fun as well. It did go on a lot longer than I thought, so I'm gonna have to adjust the time. I thought it was going to be an hour and a half, and it ended up being 2.5 hours. So yeah, I got my timing a bit wrong, but I got all the information in anyway. Light Fighter Zen, hello. How you doing? Thanks for joining. Right, what else has been going on? All the usual stuff, really. Let's see. YouTube's the same. I'm doing all the same stuff next month. As Anka said, when it ended, I had only 3% battery on my phone. Just in time, then. Yeah, how's the retrograde for everyone? Almost over finally. This has been a horrible one. As I said before, I don't usually get affected by the Mercury retrograde very much, but this one, oh, yeah, it's been a bad one for me. Having said that, I did get through that. I was talking about the workshop yesterday. I mean, as I said, that was 2.5 hours on Zoom, and it went smoothly. So thank goodness for that. Thank you, Mercury. I have to do some prayers to Buddha. Kasor at James. I've been teaching Xing Yi, Quan, and the 12 animals. Some Qigong and Neigong exercises. There you go. Carrying on with what's going on with me. As I said, all the usual stuff. Same stuff on Patreon. I'm still doing the Solomonic Pentacles. I'll carry on for a while. I think we're about halfway through actually. But yeah, I'll carry on with that. Otherwise, yeah, all the usual stuff. Light Fighter going well. My daily invocations are turning into more light language and hissing. Some snake and wolf visuals, but too much. Yeah, I don't like that term light language personally. It's very new agey. I prefer spontaneous singing. The light language kind of taps into the whole idea of the different races of aliens. Light code and all that stuff. Right. What else I can talk about? Castor's Happy Jupiter is in Cancer and direct. It's definitely not my strong suit. Rely on other people for my rely on one of my best friends for astrology. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, bit the head off an astral parasite in dream last night. That must have been interesting. Yeah. You eat it. Best way to get rid of some of those things sometimes. Transmute the energy. Usually thought forms. I don't really like eating parasites, but it has its purpose. Light fighter, Jupiter in Cancer. Yep. Yep, that thing. Yes. The astrology thing again. But then I realised I was fighting Allah, the astral. Oh no. Yes, okay. I know where that comes from. Good boy. Hello, hello. And thanks for joining. Calling from Bangladesh. Nice, lovely. Thanks for joining. Hope it's hope you're having a good day over there. Cass, I've been having to cleanse myself and helping people around my town. Things seem to be flowing smoothly, energetically, and spiritually. That's good. It's been a bit of a bumpy ride everywhere else. Alexis, hello, hello. Thanks for joining. And Light Fighter, oh my god, I've been getting a lot of messages, Muslim energy lately. Yeah. No, that thing from EO was actually a meme that we can't remember what it said now, but it was quite a funny meme. James Castle, is that at all similar to internal alchemy? Energy work-esque. I'll let Castle answer, but I would basically say yeah. It's anything to do with Qigong is energy movement. It's similar to if you were doing yoga, or Falun Dafa, or Tensegrity, or all of the other various forms of energy work, energy meditations, like movement meditations. Light Fighter Zen, kind of like Zen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Arabic magic. Or Islam, what is it? Islami? Oh, I've forgotten the name now. Islamicate, that's it. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. No, Islamicate. Because it's technically, I mean, it is pre. If we consider Islamic to be the Muslim religion, then it was Arabic magics before that. Castle, yeah, it can be, James, if you're doing the internal arts for medical and meditation. I use it to fight and do the other work. Yeah, there's Islamic, yeah. The word I was looking for. Right, anybody want to chat about something? Gemini guy, hello, hello, Santero priest. I've here been in the occult 40 years, never worked with demons. Technically, you have. I have sigils and patons of several. Is it not good to put more than one sigil on an altar? Depends who you're working with. Sometimes they don't work well together, sometimes they do. It depends who it is. So the best thing to do is to Put one on the altar, get to know it, build a relationship, and you know what the energy feels like. And then once you've built that relationship and you know what it feels like, then put the next one on. If there's a clash, because you'll feel it immediately. If there's a clash, you'll feel it in the energy flow. Then take it away. If it feels fine, if it feels like it flows okay, then then they can work together. But yeah, it's about just testing to see if energies clash or they gel. But the only way you can do that is to actually do it. Nobody can really tell you. I mean, even if you get one person who works with two specific spirits and they work well together, another person comes along, works with the same two specific spirits, but they don't work well together for that person, because that person is also adding their vibrational state to the pot. And because of that, those three vibrational states might not work, might not gel. So you really just need to test it. Have you ever interacted with a Christian God after finding out what it really is, or encountering it trying to pull you into its nonsense? I think we do that every day, to be honest with you. I mean, the people who live in a Western society, at least, because that's really what we face on a daily basis, is Christian ideologies, and that's the Christian God. I mean, that's the egregore, and all the people that are connected to the egregore are the ideology itself, the worldview, and we're immersed in it. We can't get away from it because it is the overculture. So I think we all interact with it and experience it on a daily basis. James at Castor, I may have to look into that. I've been doing Hema for a few years, and adding something more energy focused could be a useful perspective for Western martial arts. Gemini, thanks so much. It's an absolute pleasure. I do want to add, Gemini, that I mean, you said you've never worked with demons or daemons. Depending on the interpretation, I mean, if you look at the word itself, it means a tutelary spirit, and that encompasses a lot of different spirits. So, being a Santero priest, technically, you have worked with daemons because you would have worked with spirits that are tutelary. So, you know, um, this is where the problem comes in. You know, we start speaking about left-hand path, modern demonology, and all that stuff, and it has this very specific interpretation or a very specific aim, a specific pantheon that they work with. You can say that. But I mean, if you look at the word itself, it has a much broader meaning. Sorry, my beard's tickling my nose again tonight. I need to do something about that. Right, where am I? Light Fighter Zen. That it's a lot egregores. Yeah, yeah. Most of the stuff we deal with, you'll find that it usually is egregores. Um, Especially nowadays. Yeah. And I say that because the gods and goddesses, spirits, daemons, etc., 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 they have taken a different road, a different path to what they originally were. I mean, I think Lilith is probably the greatest example here. Um, Lilith isn't, well, Lilith is, but isn't. It wasn't originally, let's put it that way, the empowering goddess. You know, it wasn't this feminist kind of spirit that was a protector of women and children. In fact, it was quite the opposite. But it's become an egregore. And nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with following egregores and working with egregores and worshipping egregores. Not at all. I mean, we've been doing it for hundreds, thousands of years. Um, but to get to the original gods, that's something different. Um, and I think a lot of people, even in witchcraft, have kind of lost that focus. The whole idea, the old witches would have said something like, "We worship the gods that made the gods," type of thing. So yeah, but we do work with a lot of egregores because of the direction everything's taken. Um, Castle James, I've been doing Hammer since I was a child. I'm 35 and I'm doing Qigong Quan for 14 years now. I've been working with Santa Muerte for 32 years now. Okay. That would mean you've been working with her since you were 3. That's interesting. Gemini makes sense. My deity is Yamaya. Blessings from her to all of you. Thank you. Yamaya is the lower of, or Orisha, of the waters, if I remember correctly. Light Fighter Zen Yamaya is amazing since I am Puerto Rican. Nice. Kai said it best once, when you really interact with a god, it's terrifying but fun. Yeah, this is actually where we kind of encounter the idea of awesomeness and awe. Awe is a terrifying thing. And when you actually interact with properly interact with a god, you bawl your eyes out, you cry. It's so awesome and awe-inspiring that all your emotions just well up. It's quite something to behold. Richard, how do you know it's a real daemon or an egregore? Well, this is the thing. An egregore is a real daemon. This is the problem we seem to be facing, and have been facing for a long time. When I or somebody else starts talking about egregores as opposed to daemons or gods or whatever, then people immediately think, oh, it's a lesser being. It's not worthy. It was created by humans. It's just a collective thought form, really. That doesn't mean it's not powerful. In fact, I mean, look at the Christian God. All you have to do is look at that. That is an egregore. That is the most powerful spirit we have in our world in this modern era. I do believe it's starting to lose its force. But I mean, that is held powerful hundreds of years now. An egregore is a potent thing. It's not something to be trifled with. So when we speak about, are we experiencing a real daemon or even a real god, as opposed to the egregore of that original form, no difference. We can go back to things like speaking about the archetypes, the original mold. The idea that, for instance, with the horn god, we had this mold which was the horned one. Okay, and then from the horned one, from that mold, came Pan and Kerninos and Hern, whatever, however. Even going into, people will say Shiva, for instance. There are also horned goddesses that come from that mold. But these are all different entities. Went into different cultures, became similar but slightly different beings. So, we can then think of a real demon, and then the egregore that came from that, and then probably many egregores that came from that one being. It's a similar kind of thing, but the real demon, if an egregore is a real spirit. So, I think what you're trying to actually ask there is the original demon. And that's a difficult one. That you would need to build a relationship with the spirit itself and then ask it. Um, and if it's not a parasite, it will give you a true answer. It's not like it needs to lie. But at the same time, it still is the original demon as well, because it's connected to that source. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff, you know. Castle, yep, I died at 3 and she came to me. Oh, okay. That makes sense then. Gemini, oceans. Okay, yes, oceans, not just water. Does that include rivers and stuff, or is it just oceans? Just out of curiosity. Because I know some spirits kind of like rule the oceans, and then some rule the waters, which is a bit broader. It goes into streams and rivers and all kinds of underground rivers as well. Alexis, I've worked with Goddess Umaya before. She's indeed amazing. So nice to hear her name spoken. Yeah. James at Castle. Which hen of traditions? I'm a Fjord. That's not how you pronounce that word, I know. Pure main myself. Looking to get into Vardi and Morosa once I can find a teacher. Alright, you two carry on that conversation over there, because... Alistair. Hello, Alistair. It's Andrea and Alistair. Hello, Andrea and Alistair. How you doing? I hope you are both well. Technically, all but her sister Ocean is freshwaters. Okay. Alright, so this is kind of like salt waters as opposed to fresh waters, I suppose. I want to change the music because I want well, that's when my thingy catches up. I want the Tanya Tagak radio because it's got some really good stuff on it. Just do this. No, you go back there. And then we do that. There we go. Oop, no, I've got to press the button still. Here we go. Well, this is Tanya Tagak's new song, Fuck War. It's brilliant, love it. Where am I? Typo negative. Now we're doing Tanya. I'm just going to call you Power. Hello, Power. How you doing? Just easier. A spirit in my dreams keeps saying hi to me. It didn't feel threatening, but I'm not sure if it's a malevolent force. Do you know what I might be experiencing? I have no idea. What you would need to do is divination. Do some divination, find out if it is a malevolent force, because you don't want to go back into the dream and interact with it if it is. You can't hear the music. Why can't you hear the music? Can anybody else hear the music? Because it's showing up on my volume thing here. Just let me know. Okay, getting back to power. Yeah, do some divination. Find out if it's a malevolent force, because you don't want to go and interact with it. You know, simply because it's a malevolent force. So if it is not a malevolent force, then go back into your dreams and then you can actually interact with it. You can also use divination just to find out what spirit it is, who it is, and all of that stuff. But yeah, definitely start there. Start with some divination and find out. Yeah, I said, speaking of ocean deities, I found out I'm connected to ONS in my natal chart, but can't find shit on them except where people confuse them with Dagon. we'll work on that. We'll have a look. Okay, so Dibs currently has the music. Castle, no, I can. Alistair said no music. Richard said I didn't know you were playing music. Gemini, joining your Patreon as we text Glenn. Oh, thank you very much. Hope you enjoy it there. Castle can't, sorry. Hear a bit. Okay, I'm going to turn the volume up and then see if that... Faintly, okay. Let me turn the volume up and see if that sorts it out. Once it actually opens. Okay, let's do this. Don't want to turn it up too much. Alright, is that better? I wonder if... I'll just check that it's playing the right thing. Or picking up the right thing. Do that. Alright. Next song starting, so you can let me know if it's okay. James, sounds very sus. It's my music, what do you expect? You can hear it faintly now. It's weird, because I haven't changed any settings. Okay, are you hearing it better now? Do you need to turn it up more? These are bloody good songs. Can't miss out on the music. Your muse thing isn't working though. Hi Saturn, thanks for joining. I'll get to you in a second. Okay, the muse thing's not working, but we'll have to do that next week. I'm not sorting that out now. Okay. Saturn, I've been meditating for months to develop my intuitive skills so I can speak to the gods, but I haven't been successful. Is there an invocation for a water spirit that can make me more intuitive? Not really. If you've been doing it for months, you've still got to carry on. You know, this isn't something you do for years, and it slowly starts to develop. And for some people it comes quickly, for other people it doesn't come quickly. So just be patient. And what you might want to try and do, try some alternate nostril breathing. So instead of just meditation, I don't know what type of meditation you're doing, because there's many different forms of meditation, but maybe try some alternate nostril breathing. And by that specifically, there's an exercise that I give people. Is what you do is you close your right nostril and you breathe in through your left and you breathe into the third eye, right? Just count to 5 or something like that, and then alternate. So close your left nostril and breathe out through your right nostril. So you're creating this kind of triangle that's doing this. Then you breathe in for 5 through the right and then out for 5 through the left, and then open both nostrils and breathe in for 5 and out for 5. And as you do that again, you know, carry on doing the to the point of the eye. Another thing you can do is tratak, which is gazing at a point. This can, sometimes people use a candle, but I usually suggest a candle because I like the flame and the glow that it presents and everything else. But you can just use a point on the wall, like a dot. Not a tiny dot, but like a circle dot. And what you do is you put it about 2 feet away from you and you gaze at it for as long as you can without blinking. So until your eyes are watering. And then you close your eyes and you'll see the impression in your third eye position. And you can move your head around like this and it kind of just follows. It stays there. And focus on that, and it tends to help the process of awakening your third eye, your energy and everything else. But at the same time, work on your whole energy body. And a lot of people fail with this. They focus on one specific area, and it's usually the third eye. Quite often the intuitive psychic aspects actually fall under the throat chakra, but work on the entire system, because if you just focus on one particular energy center, you're going to expand that too much, which is going to create an imbalance, and that's not a good thing. That's going to just send you in another direction. So work on the entire system. And you can do that through Qigong, you can do it through yoga, you can do it through Falun Dafa, tensegrity, a whole lot of different energy working systems. But yeah, definitely work on your whole energy system, you know. Alright, Jahed, hello. Can you describe how you do your evocations? Do you use magical tools? Okay, it's going to depend on what you're specifically talking about, referring to in terms of evocations. Because these evocation, the language and the definitions quite often actually change depending on who you're talking to. I just want to say hello to Fixton. Hello, Fixton. Thanks for joining. So, let's see. When we're talking about evocation, generally we're talking about calling in spirit into the area. It's not into the self. Okay? And what I usually do there is depending on what I'm working with, quite often I do work with the goetic spirits because I like working with them. And in that case, I will chant the N. That's it. I'll chant the N for a while, I'll start to feel the energy shift, and then I'll start talking to the spirit, or the spirit will start talking to me. Depending on what I'm actually doing at the time. If it's a god or a goddess, then I will say prayers. If it's something that has a mantra attached to it, like a Hindu deity, I'll use the mantra, or stotram or something, some kind of poem or prayer or something which speaks to. But when we're talking about evocation, what you want to do first of all is kind of like grab the attention of the spirit. Okay, so if it's an evocation in the form of a prayer, you want to grab the attention of the spirit. Then you want to kind of flatter it a little bit. You want to start naming it. You want to start giving it kind of going through titles, through lineage. You know, really getting down to who that spirit is. Okay. So you grab the attention. You start going through and then you call it. And you call it into your space. And then you work with it. So that's kind of the evocation. Do I use magical tools? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on what I'm doing at the time, if I've been working with the spirit for a while or not, if it's a new spirit, someone I haven't worked with, and I've got no kind of like backup anywhere, then I'll probably cast some kind of circle. I don't use a lot of tools, to be honest with you. I might use a scrying device just to kind of get messages and things like that. But yeah, no, I tend to be a bit of a simple dude. I like simple things. But yeah. Said hello to Fixton. Hello. EO. Can't hear well, but the drums I heard make the song sound like In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. Definitely wasn't that, no. Can you hear the music now? Is it working? I don't know if it's working. Divs, is there... It's there now, but very quiet. Really? Okay, I'm just going to turn the volume right up then. And you can tell me if it's too much. There we go. Okay. Let me go to the next song. This has a bit of vocals to it, I think. Possibly. Alright, Alistair, alternate nostril breathing is brilliant. Oh, it is, yeah. I mean, it also balances the two sides in Idun Pingala, the two channels that go either side of Sushumna. So it really is good. Shahid, thank you. It's a pleasure. Do you hear the spirit as a voice in your head? No, I don't. If so, the first time it happened, did you think you were crazy? I do not. And to be honest with you, if you are hearing spirits as literally as a voice, as like a disembodied voice in your head, it is probably apparent, or you are suffering from psychosis of some kind. So that's something you don't want to hear. Alright. Very loud now, okay. Maybe it just needs a reset. Right, that's half the volume. There we go. Okay. Alright. I'll turn it down to half the volume. I don't know if that's helping or not. Let me know. Alright, just to repeat Jahed's question because, yeah. Alright. Let me just check first. Can you hear me okay? Is the music too loud? Let's do that test and then I'll answer the question. Is it okay now though? Okay. Alex said it's still a bit loud. I'm going to turn it down again because music's cool, but you know, you're here to get answers. All right. So to answer Jahed, if you are hearing like a disembodied voice in your head, then it's a sign that it's either a parasite, or you are suffering from psychosis or something like that. You do not want to hear voices in your head. Okay, I know the language we use is kind of like I talk to and I hear. But when we say I hear the spirit, what we're really referring to is the comes through in let's say a telepathic format. So it's impressions, images. You might smell something. You might get some kind of communication, which is in ideas. You know, that kind of thing. And everybody's different. But if you're starting to hear voices, that's a bad sign. You don't want that at all. Okay. And yeah, it's something that happens slowly because it's a different way of communicating. And we're so used to hearing somebody talk to us that that's what we expect. And then when we get the communication in a different way, then it's very difficult to understand and figure out. So it does take time to actually kind of like figure out what it is and how it's all working. All right. Gemini says, I feel everything clear sentient. Yeah, I'm a what is it? It's the claircognizant, something like that. It's the prophetic, the all-knowing, kind of clear psychic sense thing. James, I have to nip out briefly. All right, back soon. Okay, cool. All right. If not, I'll catch up on Discord. Good stuff. Gemini, sorry for the spelling. No, I think you got it right. I always think it's strange when people say, I see the... What's that? The dadmuk? Gonna have to explain that word. I don't... Oh, daemon, okay. Yeah. It's, yeah, I assume you're on your phone, which is, you don't want to rely on autocorrect because it can get quite funny sometimes. But yeah, I see the daemon. Yeah, and this again, you know, it's the language we use. So, hearing is not hearing a voice, and when you see a spirit, it's not a physical form. I mean, that is something that is extremely rare. Some people do claim that every time they do a conjuration or an evocation or something, they do conjure the physical form of the spirit into their space, and quite frankly, I think they're talking utter shit because it is so rare. It's not something that happens. And when I say that, what I mean is not not in terms of you see it psychically, to actual physical manifestation where other people can see it as well. That's very rare. That's theophany, and it don't happen often at all. Yeah. Tia, hello, hello. There's a lot of new faces here today. It's quite good. How long we need to do invocations in order to know if we are communicating with the goetic spirit? Not very long, actually. Yeah, I'm assuming you mean like in a session when you sit down and you want to communicate with the spirit. How long do you do the invocation before it comes along? I'm assuming you mean that. And not long. Um, what you might find is that you are maybe not feeling the energy shift. You are not sure if the spirit's there. What you might want to try doing is some pendulum work. I kind of enjoy doing this. So I take my pendulum with me and I do an invocation or an evocation or chant the in or whatever I'm doing to attract the spirit to me. And then at some point, I'll kind of like just hold the pendulum and say, okay, spin it clockwise if you're here. And it'll either stay still or it'll spin clockwise. And then what I'll do, I'll just do some discernment to make sure it's the spirit I want. So I can use the pendulum as well for that, or I can rely on my own impressions and things. But that's the other part of the work. But you don't have to do it for very long, because as soon as you bring your attention to the spirit, you've attracted the attention of the spirit, really. And it's not like it has to travel across the world or something like that and take 15 hours to get there. So yeah, not very long. What you can do though is you can continue the invocation to strengthen the energy in the area that you're working. So it's a consideration. For me, it's always been feeling and then images that come with dialogue. Yeah, it's kind of the general thing that happens. You kind of feel it, you sense it. I know I'm not as physically sensitive as you are, and I don't feel energies physically as prominently as other people do. So I have to rely on other sensors. So as I say, everybody's different. Gemini, is the daemon Citri good for gay men to work with? I would say so, yeah. I mean, Citri, quite frankly, is all about sex. And I don't think any of the spirits actually really kind of distinguish with genders and things like that, or sexual preferences or anything like that. I don't see why they would. I think it's only humans, stupid humans, who do that. Who kind of discriminate. Because humans are weird spirits. They're the weird ones. But yeah, no, Citri, all about the sex. So it doesn't matter what form it comes in, and who's rubbing bodies together. I don't think it really matters at all. There is one specific spirit that is noted to be very good to work with in the LGBTQ communities. We'll try and we'll find out who that was again. There's just one specific one that popped up that was just noted as being a very good one. Tia said thank you. It's a pleasure. Gemini, lots of info is so heterosexual. That's because it was written by patriarchy. It was written by men, old men, who decided that they were the voice of all reason. So yeah, it's not written by the spirits, it's written by the human idiots. Um, but I mean, we and we can even bring this into the conversation of our spirits gendered? No, they're not. Um, you know, we kind of give them gender. They kind of present themselves gendered, so that it's easier for us to interact with them. But one that I've worked with, which is kind of probably the pinnacle of the explanation here, is AIM or I am. And for me, she appears, or I am appears as a woman because I am straight. That's the word. I am straight, right? So she appears as a woman, but I honestly believe that she appears in whatever gender you prefer. So, and Lucifer appears to me, used to appear as a masculine form, now appears to me as a feminine form. These spirits are not gendered. So I don't think they would really give two hoots about gender and sexual preference. Just try and do a search for LGBTQ. And that spirit I was talking about is Zepar. So if you're looking at Sea Tree from a sexual perspective, you might want to actually look at Zepar. Zepar's office is to cause women to love men and to bring them together in love. He also makes them barren, which might not want to work for fertility magic with him, or her, or them. Yeah, it's been noted that Zepar is patron to LGBTQ types. So it might be a good one. Oh yeah, EO said Eros is good, also Pan. Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, Baphomet as well. If you want everything in one body, Baphomet, masculine, feminine, serpentine, aviary, goat, everything's in that one body. So, how's it spelled? Zepar. Hang on, Zepar. Just press the button and maybe it goes through. There you go, Zepar. I think I've missed a couple. Hold on, let me go back. Jahed, how long did it take you to have the senses for communicating with spirits? I don't really know, to be honest with you. It's people ask this question, and it's not kind of like the thing that. What's wrong with my internet today? Wait, let me just make sure I'm still here. Okay, I'm still here. What I was trying to say was I don't think it's one of those things that you kind of like work out, and then all of a sudden one day you can all of a sudden communicate with the spirits. It's a progressive thing that can take years, and I'm not one of those people that any of this comes naturally to. I have to seriously work at this shit. So for me, it's taking years to get to the point where I can communicate with spirits. And even now, sometimes, 30 years later, I still question myself sometimes, and I have to give myself a bit of a slap. But yeah, it's something that progressively happens. Not kind of like, on this day, I did this and this. Jeffrey, hello, Jeffrey. Yeah, I haven't seen you for a while either. This is the nice thing about Mercury retrograde, specifically this one. Everybody from the past is coming back to the chats. I love it. It's great. And new people. Yeah, it's wonderful. Sappho, why? Because I've been doing a lot of heavy stuff lately. I have to change it up. What was that in reference to? Hello and hello. I don't think I've said hello to you yet. Oh yes. Oh yes, there you are. Hold on. Now I think I've missed some chats in the back here. If I've missed anything, just let me know. We'll go through it. But what was that in reference to? I don't know what that was in reference to. But anyway. Andre. Hello, Andre. Great video. Thanks. It's an absolute pleasure. Blum, 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 blum. Dragon. Hello, Dragon. Do you need objects or something to do workings with spirits? You don't need it, no. You might want to use objects or something for your own needs, but what objects or something are you talking about? Let's be specific. Let me know which objects or something. Jeffrey, been away a long time. You have been. It's been quite a while, I must say. Right. Yeah, I definitely feel like I've missed part of a conversation. What's going on here? Sappho, can you recommend any? Sorry, you're gonna have to tell me what this is in reference to. I've lost the plot again, as I always do. Let me know what you're referring to, and Sappho specifically, and then I'll have a look at that. Dragon candles, coins, sigils. It all depends on what you're doing. It really does. I like to light candles. It sets a bit of mood. Candles are also nice because they kind of have a nice steady energy that goes with them. Coins I would only use if I'm working with the ancestors, usually, unless you're doing specific like working with dimes or something like that if you're in America. There are specific coins that have some lore behind them. Sigils, I do kind of work with sigils, but I don't kind of work with sigils. I'm not the kind of person who will gaze at a sigil in order to call a spirit. I just prefer closing my eyes. In that case, I will sometimes picture the sigil behind my closed eyes, but this all depends on what work you're doing. If I want to communicate with a spirit through the Black Mirror, I'll use a scrying device. But I might not want to do that. I might just want to talk directly and use a pendulum to communicate, so I'll take a pendulum in and probably some loose incense, like frankincense or something on a charcoal block. So it really does depend on what I'm doing and what I feel like doing at the time. But you don't need any of this stuff. They have value, they have a purpose, but one thing I learned right at the beginning, and I cannot remember which book I read it in, is a powerful magician can go into the middle of the desert wearing nothing and having no paraphernalia and do the most powerful magic. But at the same time, you might want to use tools. Jahed, do you have experiences with the following spirits, and if so, can you talk about Loki and I assume that's Toph? I don't actually. I've never worked with Loki. I've never really worked with Thoth. Hermes, here and there from a mercurial perspective, but not really. Don't really interact with Hermes even very much. So I'm gonna have to give it a no with that. G-Labs, nice song in the background. Which one is it? The song prior. Hang on. Let me have a look. Because there's also a delay in the chat, and my Amuse isn't working. So that was Hallucination now. The one before that was The Lake by Fever Ray. And at least you can hear the music. Hoping to make contact with Mr. Parsons soon in Ritual, that is. Cool. You know what you should actually try? Is Sarah Mastros's method of or necromantic work. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that now though, because that's I'll have to go find it in the book again. It's a very good method. I really like the idea. Basically, you kind of have a meal with the person you want to speak to. Space Cafe News Music Comedy. Hello. Thanks for joining. Green from Night. Falls. Yes, that one. Hello. Thank you for joining. Dragon. That's from Dolores Ashcroft. What is from Dolores Ashcroft? I feel like I'm not getting the whole chat here today, and I should be because I've got it on live chat. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what's from Dolores Ashcroft. EO Thoth is amazing, just very serious. There you go. EO's had some experience with Thoth. Would do being a Thelemite. White Fighter Zen, thumbs up. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Yeah, I've really got a feeling that my whole chat's not going through, which is pain in the arse. Dragon that you can perform. Oh, really? Okay. Because I don't remember reading Ashcroft in the beginning at all. Maybe somebody else mentioned it in another book, but I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't. That was 30 years ago, so I got a bad memory to begin with. So, yeah. So here, does Hecate have a relationship to the Egyptian god Heka? Possibly. This is all speculation. Some will consider that Hecate and Heka are the same. But Heka tends to be a masculine, frog-headed god. But that doesn't really mean that it's not Hecate. I mean, Hecate comes in so many forms, and actually takes on masculine forms here and there. Specifically, Hermes sometimes. There's a crossover between the two at certain points. But yeah, nobody really can answer this with absolute certainty. There's a lot of speculation surrounding that actual connection. But as I say, I mean, when it comes to Hecate, I personally think that Hecate is the oldest divine being that we have, and has encompassed so many different things. And I don't know, it's just the potency of Hecate is unbelievable. So, don't know. Alright, Castle, you got it on all chat or just top chat? I've got it on live chat. which is supposed to be giving me everything. My other two options are top chat, which filters the messages, and fan funding, which I'm not going to bother with that. So it should be giving me all the messages. Sappho, there is some overlap, but they're not the same from what I understand. Yeah, basically that. As I said, there's some speculation that it's the same, but can't really say yes or no. Jahed, did you ever have contact with Shiva? Yeah, I do. I work with Shiva. I have Shiva on my altar. I do prayers every morning to Shiva. And Lakshmi and Ganesh. So, for me, Shiva represents the Saturnian aspects within my own practice. Light Fighter, I'm going to have to contact Hecate now. Hecate is just the most wonderful and all-encompassing and powerful and terrifying, awe-inspiring being you could. So yes, you will. Castle, I've been working through all my emotions from my father's death and both parents being dead. Going through the stages of grief. The lady has helped me a lot. Been working on my balance. That's good. Right. Okay, the song is playing, but I don't hear anything. Oh, there we go. Light Fighter, Tarpanam, ancestral offering for me, helped me deal with my father's passing. There you go. Haven't heard of Tarpanam. What's Tarpanam? Let's see. Oh, Hindu Vedic ritual. Okay. Jahed, did you ever work with a pep? And did it create chaos in your life? I haven't. When it comes to Egyptian deities, it's never been on my radar at all. So anything Egyptian, we can just put over to one side because it's not gonna come onto my radar at all. For me, she does reveal ugly truths. I think if you are working with and really working with any god or goddess, they are going to reveal ugly truths. It's one of those things that has been coming up again lately is that, you know, during communication with a spirit, if that spirit agrees with everything you say, you're actually talking to yourself. You're not talking to the god. And when we do work or do have a good relationship and we worship and work with a god for an extended period of time, we do find that they kind of like they do reveal those truths and they do kind of show us the things that we need to see and we've been ignoring for too long, and part of the process. Light Fighter giving a little rice, coin, and black pepper seeds. Yeah, I see it's mentioned black sesame seeds. I'd kind of do that every morning. What am I working with? Poppy or sesame? Like two. Black sesame seed, yeah. Casa, I do work with Bastet and Sekhmet because I care for cats and make sure my children are okay. Oh, this Tarpanam, I'm sure Light Fighter, you've mentioned this before actually. Forgot the word though, because now it's ringing a bell. It's the Petru Tarpanam, the Petru part I recognise as ancestors. Okay, now I'm just finding stuff. Tarpanam eye therapy with it looks like um, well, it looks like rings of dough around the person's eyes. Looks a bit weird, but anyway. Light fight, very powerful heart healing practice. Cool. Right, now it's gone a bit quiet. What's been going on over here? Right, we're gonna go into the goth music, I think. Let's grab. What the dark and gothic. Jeffrey, are your member videos rituals or meditations? Are you talking about YouTube? I don't really do much on YouTube anymore. It's all on Patreon. I'm trying to get everybody to move across to Patreon, and it depends on the tier. If it's the subscriber tier or the supporter tier, that's guided meditations twice a month. Um, if you're looking at the journal, which is $5, that's kind of my explorations. At the moment, I'm going through the Solomonic Pentacles, doing one each week. Um, and it's kind of like an exploration of the Pentacle, kind of like comparing two authors and how what they say about the Pentacles and all that stuff. So kind of my explorations. There's a lot of stuff in the journal, in the collections that I've done in the past. So a ton of stuff to go through actually. And then it's the Obsidian Veil, which is kind of like a cleansing and protection ritual that I do once a month on the dark or new moon. That's coming up this Thursday for this month. The Egregore project has kind of come to a halt. I don't know what. I don't know if I should continue with it. I'm not sure if anybody's actually working with them. I know one or two people are, but not enough to kind of carry on, making that a group effort type of thing. And yeah, so kind of that's come to a halt. It's still there, it's still available, and everything else. And then it's the Temple of the Horned Serpent tiers. So it's the $15, the $40, and the $100 tier. $15 tier is material for the foundational training, which lasts about. If you do it like religiously each day, it'll take you through an eight month training. And you can ask me questions in the chat. If you do the $40 tier, it's the same, but you get to face talk to me on Zoom once a month. And the $100 tier is the same, but you get to talk to me once a week on Zoom for an hour each time. Yeah, so those are all the tiers on Patreon. That's the member stuff. Then there's the shop. That's so there. Lots of stuff, and lots more coming as well. Jahed, did the spirits help you to live what is called the true will? The spirits didn't. My holy guardian angel, or what I like to call my personal daimon, did. Um, I'm still not 100% sure on what my actual true will is. I know what it is, but how I'm applying it, I'm not sure. I think I'm applying it okay, but I do question myself sometimes. But yeah, I mean, if you're working with true will, it really has to do with the unification or bringing together the confluence of forces, which are your own specific fragments of your own soul. So your holy guardian angel, um, that kind of stuff. Dragon, after casting a spell, do you have to keep the emotions of a desired outcome already happening all the time, or do you live and feel like ordinary? You live and feel like ordinary. If you do the spell and you do it right, then you don't need to think about it anymore because you've done the work, and now you have to let it go and do its thing, right? It's a bit like um, uh, let's say you create a little ball of energy, right? And you put the spell into that, and you do your work and everything else, and then you say, okay, now go and do it. If you keep coming back and going, how are you doing? What's happening? Are you there yet? You know, this is a bit like Donkey in Shrek, sitting in the back seat and going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Same thing. If you keep interfering with it, it's not going to get to its destination, and therefore the spell's not going to do what it's supposed to do. So once you've done the spell, just let it do its thing and go on with your life, you know? And maybe in a week or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on how long you need this thing to actually manifest into the physical. Maybe just check to see if it's done its work, but don't keep interfering with it. Otherwise, it's gonna go off track. Light fighter. I know that part of my divine path will is to understand the Goetia or left-hand path spirits. Okay. I'm not armed with anybody's divine will. I think it's probably more than that though. It was a good question actually. Thank you, Dragon. Sappho and keep secret. Yes. Keep silent. Don't go telling anyone. Yeah. The maxim, the witch's pyramid, or the magician's maxim, or the 4 pylons of the Sphinx. I think some people call it that. To know, to will, to dare, to keep silent, and the keep silent part is a very important aspect. You know, and even keep silent from yourself. This is why you do the work, let it go do its thing. Stop thinking about it. So keep your mind silent from interfering. And don't tell other people because they can project their own energy and thoughts onto the working itself, and they can knock it off track because they might not agree with what you're doing, they might not want you to succeed, anything like that. There are some people that you are very close to who are very supportive of you. You might want to talk to them about it, that's fine. But just keep it in mind. To keep silent in the maxim is a very important part that I think too many people forget about, especially with social media. Because, when we do anything nowadays, you've got to blast it all over social media. In some circumstances, yes, you can do that to enhance the magic because you want other people seeing it to actually add to the energy, but it doesn't always, it can backfire depending on what you're actually doing. Jahed, do you have experience with Kerberos, and if so, can you please talk about it? Not much, really. When it comes to the hounds of Hecate, and some relate that to being Kerberos, I don't really work with them much. I think I could say I did in the past, but I didn't know what I was working with, really. But you'll find that if you do some kind of invocatory work with Kerberos or the Hounds, it's very primal. It's fantastic energy to work with if you can transmute the energy. That's the whole thing there. You can very easily use it to do clearing work or curses or something like that, where you need that primal force and the power that comes with it. You can just throw it at the target. But at the same time, you can also take that force and that power and transmute it into something else, like healing, whatever you want to do. So it's an incredibly powerful force. It really is. But yeah, it's about the extent of what I can say I've kind of worked with in terms of Kerberos. That's a pleasure. Oh, wait, I'm trying to figure out why we're listening to Tanya Tagaka and Hallucination when we're supposed to be listening to Goth. Because I didn't get there. There we go. Dark and Gothic. Listen to some Bauhaus. I hope everybody can hear the music now. I don't know if you can or not. Right. Yeah, actually, coming back to the tiers on my Patreon, if anybody does want to get involved in the Obsidian Veil, as I said, that's coming up this Thursday, I believe. Hang on, let me just double check that. Oops, got the wrong one. It's a cleansing and protection. I call on, well, I now call on Hecate and Pan. I do like a little live ritual once a month, so you can join the live stream. It's Thursday this month, or this week. Did you do the clip off? No. And if so, how did it change you? No, I didn't, because my understanding of the clip off has nothing to do with what these modern left-hand path magicians are doing, because I think they are just immersing themselves in illusion, and I don't really think they know what they're doing half the time either, to be honest with you. So no, I did not work the clip off, because the clip off is, this is the clip off. It's a pencil. It's a shell. You want to get beneath the shell, beneath the husk, into the juicy parts, which is the underworld or the other worlds. You know, this is the illusion, and this is the clip off. This is the shards. Well, there's a few different interpretations as well within Jewish mysticism. You know, there's the idea that the creator kind of had this project and kind of went boom, and it didn't turn out the way he wanted it to, and therefore he discarded it and pushed it himself. I think he did that 3 times until he eventually got our cosmos. But then the other ones were discarded, and they were the shards and the husks and the demonic. But even when we talk about the demonic within Jewish mysticism, it's not the same thing. You're talking about health issues and mental health issues and things like that. It's not got to do with spirits or anything. So there's a whole lot of different interpretations, but my understanding is very different. My understanding comes from Corvus, my Kabbalah mentor for a long time ago. So no, don't do that. Divs, perhaps a broad question, but what would you recommend as a strong method for getting gone of astral parasites? Yeah, this depends on what parasitic attack you're under, really. But a spiritual bath is good. I like spiritual baths. But really, just every morning, apart from doing all your various stuff like your meditation and if you're working with deities, do offerings and prayers, that all elevates your vibrational state, which means that you're not going to have parasitic attacks. But at the same time, what you can do is just stand at the basin and let the water run, and cup some of the water in your hand and say, "This water cleanses me," and then just put it over your head, and you've cleansed yourself. It doesn't need to be all like fireworks and stuff. A lot of the stuff that we do is very, very simple, and the problem is that people don't trust it because it's simple. They think, "Oh no, it was too simple, therefore it's not going to work." So no, it's not going to work. But really, some of the simplest stuff you can do is the most powerful, potent stuff you can do. And this is why I just remove belief from the whole equation and do the thing. You'll find it works. But yeah, a strong method can literally be just cupping your hands with water and saying, "This water cleanses me," and throwing it over your head. That's it. You don't need to go scorch yourself or something like that. If you do want to reset your entire space, and I'm not just talking astral parasites or negative entities or anything like that, I'm talking negative, positive, and everything in between, then do the LBRP with a cleanser, with a banishing attitude. You are resetting your space. It is now completely neutral, and therefore you can now bring in what you want to do. I will say, there is a method that I was taught by, coming back to Jacobus and Kabbalah, and I can't remember what he called it. I called it the black water rite. It's in his books if you want to go find it. I can't remember which book though, so I don't know. Anyway, it's a very basic method. You call this very specific angelic force, and you do it 7 times. But what you do is you set yourself up as being Moses, who's going through the desert and all this stuff, and there's the very specific prayer that you say, and you have 7 charcoal blocks. You have a bowl of water which has got some olive oil in it, and then you have these 7 charcoal blocks, and you pick up a charcoal block, and as you dunk it into the water and it goes, then you forcefully, with Kavana, you forcefully kind of vibrate this angelic name, and you do that 7 times, and it creates this water, right? Which is a very sticky water because it's got olive oil in it. And then what you do is you go and you clean yourself. You take the water and you wash yourself from head to toe in this water, and you end up black because the olive oil is sticky. You've got charcoal in it, so you're just black from head to toe, and then take about 3 or 4 showers to try and get it off. But what that does, it strips everything away, absolutely every connection, every link you can possibly think of, you've ever created. You are reset. You are clean slate. And then what you have to do, you have to go and start making the connections again. So the people you actually want in your life, go and talk to them so that you then connect again. That's probably, if you want a strong method of getting rid of astral parasites. But this is what I say, it doesn't just get rid of parasites, it gets rid of absolutely everything. Every single link and connection you've ever made in your entire life. So, it's something that the Kabbalists do, like, I think it's on the spring equinox or something. But, yeah, no, it's kind of resetting. Anyway, EO, could I pay you to do working for me? I'm too ahead to get results. We shall talk about it. Don't worry. But yes, you can if you want to. You go to my website. You can all the workings, all the spell workings there, services and everything. But we will talk about it. Jahed, I heard Dragon's Blood is good for cleansing. Yeah, probably. But that would be a Martian. Dragon's Blood is a very martial kind of herb or resin. So yeah, from a martial kind of aspect, which is kind of like that. Mars is the one that comes flaming the axes and the swords and saying, you're all gonna fucking die and everything else. It's just flailing and going wild, and there's no kind of precision to Mars. Saturn is very precise, and Dragon's Blood is a martial energy. Silverado, hello. Do you have any? I haven't seen you in a long time either. Have you any plans for March 21st, spring equinox, Lucifer? Not really. I don't really celebrate the equinoxes. I do recognise them, but I don't do any celebrations. I'm trying to think if I did have anything this particular month that I was looking at doing. Oh, no. No, that's on Friday. That's going to be a bit of a shitty day for me. I'm going to keep my head down. Oh, you said it's the 21st. Isn't it the 20th this year? Yeah.